Between August 1942 and February 1943, roughly 2 million soldiers and civilians faced the deadliest battle in human history at Stalingrad, encountering starvation, frostbite, relentless street fighting, and almost certain death. The siege was merciless and unending, but for those trapped in the ruins, survival became a daily nightmare of rubble and warfare. Here's what life was really like during the Battle of Stalingrad. Hey, before we start, if you actually fall asleep to these, that's what they're for, so like or subscribe, tell me where you're listening from and what time it is, comment below. Love seeing listeners from Texas to Toronto to Tokyo, all here at the same time. Well, not the same time, you know what I mean? Alright, let's head back to Stalingrad, 1942. Trust me, it's going to be quite a ride. But first, get comfortable. Seriously, adjust those pillows, pull up that blanket, because where we're going, you're going to want to be cozy. Your name is Alexei, you're 19 years old. You're about to die in Stalingrad. Well, probably. The odds aren't great, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's August 21st, 1942, and you're crossing the Don River with what's left of your rifle division. The Germans are coming. Everyone knows it. The whole city knows it. 500,000 people live in Stalingrad right now, and most of them are probably wishing they'd left when they had the chance. You didn't get a choice, obviously. You're a soldier. You go where they tell you to go. The dust is incredible, like you can't see 10 feet in front of you. Every step kicks up clouds of it, and it gets in your mouth, your nose, coats your teeth. The August heat is brutal. Sweat runs down your back, soaking through your tunic. Your rifle weighs about 1,000 pounds. Or maybe that's just how it feels after marching for 3 days straight. The guy next to you, Dmitri, keeps making jokes. Bad ones. "Hey, Alexei, you ever been to Stalingrad before?" he asks. "No," you say, saving your breath. "Me neither. I hear it's nice this time of year. Very explode." You don't laugh. Nobody laughs. Dmitri doesn't seem to care. The Volga River stretches out ahead of you, massive and brown. On the other side, you can see Stalingrad hugging the western bank. Factories belch smoke into the sky. The tractor factory, the Red October steel plant, places that were making tanks and weapons just days ago. Still are, probably. The buildings look normal from here. Solid, untouched. That's about to change. You cross the river on barges. They're packed so tight you can barely breathe. Men pressing against men, rifles jabbing into backs, everyone trying not to fall into the water. The Volga is wide here, maybe a kilometre across. That's a lot of open water, a lot of time to be a sitting target. But the German planes don't come. Not yet. You make it across. Stalingrad spreads out in front of you. The city runs for about 30 kilometers along the Volga, but it's narrow. In some places, only 3 or 4 kilometers deep. Squeeze 500,000 people into that space and you get a lot of apartments. Tall ones, 4, 5, 6 stories, lots of factories, lots of steel and concrete. Your orders are simple. Dig in, hold the line, not one step back. You've heard about Order 227. Everyone has. Stalin's order from last month, not one step back. Retreat without permission and you get shot by your own side. Officers who retreat get sent to punishment battalions, which is basically a death sentence with extra steps. So yeah, no pressure. You're assigned to a position near the central part of the city, not right on the riverbank, but close enough. Your unit finds a partially bombed building, sets up in the basement. Someone finds a mattress. It's got springs poking through and smells like mold, but it's better than dirt. You almost laugh. Almost. Unlike your warm bed right now with its clean sheets and soft pillow. Unlike the safety you're wrapped in while you listen to this. Remember that feeling. Hold on to it. Because at 6 a.m. on August 23rd, 1942, the world explodes. You're not asleep. Nobody's sleeping. You've been listening to the distant rumble of artillery all night, getting closer. The Luftwaffe has been probing the city for days. Small raids, testing defences. This is different. The sound hits you first. Not individual explosions, just one continuous roar, like the earth itself is screaming. The basement ceiling shakes, dust rains down. Someone's yelling, but you can't hear them over the noise. You scramble up the stairs, out into the street. The sky is black with planes. Not exaggerating, not being dramatic. The entire sky from horizon to horizon is filled with German bombers. Hundreds of them, maybe 1,000. They're flying so low you can see the black crosses on their wings. The bombs fall like rain. Buildings 3 blocks away just cease to exist. 1 second they're there. The next there's just a cloud of dust and fire where they used to be. The shock waves hit you in the chest, knock the air from your lungs. A woman runs past you, screaming. She's on fire, actually on fire. Her dress, her hair, she's just running, no direction, just running. A soldier tries to help her. Then the building next to them takes a direct hit and they both disappear into the fireball. The bombing goes on for hours. You've never heard anything like it, never imagined anything like it. The sound alone would drive you insane if you let it. So you don't let it. You focus on staying alive. That's it. That's the whole job. You find yourself in the basement again. Don't remember going back down. The building above you is being systematically destroyed. Each impact sends chunks of concrete crashing down the stairs. The whole structure groans like a dying animal. Dmitri is next to you, his face white with dust. "This is fine," he says. "Totally fine. Everything's fine." He's lost it. You've all lost it, probably. When it finally stops, when the roar fades to just the crackling of fires and the screams of the wounded, you go back outside. Stalingrad is gone. Not completely. The buildings are still standing, most of them, but the city you walked through yesterday is gone. In its place is something from a nightmare. Entire blocks are burning, bodies everywhere. Not soldier bodies, civilians, women, kids, old people who couldn't evacuate, who had nowhere to go. The streets are choked with rubble. Buildings have collapsed into themselves, spilling their guts across the pavement. Furniture, dishes, someone's piano split in half. A child's doll, perfectly intact, sitting in the middle of a crater. Smoke rises from 1,000 fires, blotting out the sun. It's like twilight in the middle of the day. The air tastes like burning wood, burning rubber, burning flesh. You'll never forget that smell. Never. The official count will say 40 to 75,000 people died in that one bombing. One day, more than some entire battles. But nobody's counting right now. Nobody's got time for counting. The Germans are coming. You can hear them now. Engines, lots of them. Tanks. The distinctive squeal of panzer treads on pavement. Your lieutenant, a guy named Petrov, who looks about 12 years old, gathers what's left of your squad. Maybe 20 men, used to be 40. You don't ask where the others went. They're going to try to push through to the Volga, Petrov says. Cut the city in half. We hold them here. Here is a street corner, just a street corner. Rubble on one side, a burning building on the other. With what? Someone asks. Petrov holds up his rifle. With this. Yeah. That's the plan. Stop German tanks with rifles, except Petrov's smarter than he looks. He's already figured out the one advantage you have. The Germans want to use their tanks, their artillery, their planes, all that beautiful, expensive equipment that works so well in the open steppe. But Stalingrad isn't open steppe anymore. It's a maze, a burning, broken maze of concrete and steel. Tanks can't maneuver in these narrow streets. Half of them are blocked with rubble anyway. The Luftwaffe can't bomb what they can't see through the smoke. And the buildings are the key. They're made of reinforced concrete. Stalin's 5-year plan built them solid. The bombing knocked them around, sure, blew out the windows, collapsed some floors, but the steel frames are still standing. The walls are still up. Every building becomes a fortress. You're about to learn a whole new kind of fighting. Not the sweeping battles across fields that you trained for, not the glorious charges. This is something uglier, closer, more desperate. This is urban warfare. The 1st German infantry reaches your position around noon. They come cautiously, rifles up, scanning the rubble. Smart. They've learned already that every pile of debris could hide a Soviet soldier with a rifle and a grudge. You're in a basement window, half buried in bricks. You can see their boots, just their boots at first, then their legs as they get closer. Petrov gives the signal. The street erupts, 20 rifles firing at once from 20 different positions. The Germans scatter, dive for cover, return fire. But they can't see you. You're ghosts in the rubble. One of them throws a grenade. It bounces off a wall, rolls back toward him. He tries to kick it away. Doesn't make it. This goes on for hours. They push, you push back. They bring up a tank. Someone in your unit has an anti-tank rifle, manages to hit it in the turret. The tank backs off, belching smoke. By nightfall, the Germans haven't advanced past your position. One street corner. That's all you held. One street corner. It feels like a victory. It probably shouldn't, but it does. You're learning the rhythm already. The Germans own the day. When the sun's up, they've got air support, they can see, they can coordinate. So during the day, you hide. You take pot shots when you can, slow them down, make them pay for every meter. But at night you go hunting. The darkness belongs to the Red Army. Petrov explains it that night while you're all huddled in the basement, eating whatever scraps you can find. We stay close to them, he says, right up against them, so close they can't use their artillery without hitting their own men, so close their planes can't tell us apart. Hugging the enemy, he calls it. It's brilliant, actually. The Germans have all this firepower, all these advantages, but if you're 20 meters away from them, they can't use any of it. They have to come at you with rifles and grenades and bayonets, same as you, and you're defending your city, your home, your people. They're invaders, 1,000 miles from Berlin, freezing and starving and wondering what the hell they're doing here. That's your advantage. So you hug them. You get so close you can hear them talking in their trenches. You can smell their cigarettes. You learn to recognize their voices. And then, in the dark, you kill them. The next few days blur together. You're not sure what day it is anymore. Time stops meaning anything. There's only light and dark, only fighting and hiding. The Germans push into the city. They can't help it. Hitler wants Stalingrad. Stalin wants to keep it. Neither of them cares how many people die in between. The southern part of the city falls first, then the northern part. Your unit gets pushed back street by street, building by building. But you make them pay. You make them pay for every step. The Volga is right there, right behind you, a few hundred meters at most. If they push you into the river, that's it. Game over. The city falls. You don't let them. You find a 4-story apartment building that overlooks a square. Good sightlines, 3 approaches covered. Petrov decides this is it. This is where you hold. You spend a day fortifying it. Barbed wire, mines, machine guns in every window facing the square. You breach the basement walls so you can move between buildings without going outside. Someone finds food. Actual food, bread, a little bit of sausage. You eat it like it's the finest meal you've ever had. Maybe it is. Your stomach is cramping from hunger. Has been for days. The rations are getting smaller. The supply barges from across the Volga have to run a gauntlet of German fire. A lot of them don't make it. But you're alive. Still alive. Dmitri's still making jokes. "Hey Alexei, you know what's great about Stalingrad?" he says. "What? At least the rent's cheap now." You almost smile. Almost. Outside, the city burns. The Germans are getting close to the factories now. The tractor factory, Red October, Barricade, these are the industrial heart of Stalingrad. Stalin's ordered them to keep producing. Even as the battle rages around them, workers are building tanks inside and sending them straight into combat. You've seen it. Tanks rolling off the assembly line with no paint, no testing, crews climbing in and driving them straight at the Germans. Some of them don't even have gun sights yet. Just point and shoot and hope. The Luftwaffe is overhead constantly now. You've learned to recognize the sound of different planes, the high-pitched scream of Stukas diving, the deeper drone of level bombers. They drop everything on you. High explosives, incendiaries. Sometimes they just strafe the streets with machine guns. You learn to move fast, sprint from cover to cover, never stay in one place too long, never bunch up. The rubble helps. It's everywhere now. Mountains of it. Twisted steel beams jutting out like broken bones. Craters big enough to hide a truck. You use it all. Every pile of bricks is a firing position. Every crater is a foxhole. Every basement is a bunker. The Germans are learning too. They're getting better at urban fighting, bringing up flamethrowers to clear buildings, using grenades more, moving in smaller groups, but they're also getting tired. You can see it in the way they move, slower, more cautious. They've taken massive casualties. For every block they gain, they're leaving 50, 100 bodies behind. And they're cold. September's ending, October's coming, the temperature's dropping at night. Frost on the rubble in the mornings. The Germans aren't ready for it. They're still wearing summer uniforms. Someone in Berlin decided the war would be over before winter. Oops. You've got winter gear, padded jackets, felt boots, thick gloves. Stalin learned from last year. The Germans didn't. At night you can hear them coughing, stamping their feet, trying to stay warm. You just wait in your positions, warm enough, patient. And when they get too cold, too tired, too careless, you strike. The days are getting shorter, darker sooner. That means more time for night operations, more time when you hold the advantage. Your building overlooks what used to be a park. Now it's just churned earth and dead trees. The Germans are dug in on the far side, maybe 200 meters away. At midnight, when it's darkest, Petrov takes 5 men and goes hunting. You're one of the 5. You blacken your face with soot. Move in absolute silence. The rubble helps, provides cover all the way across the park. You get within 30 meters of the German line before anyone notices. Then it's chaos, grenades, rifle fire, screaming. You don't remember the specifics, just flashes. The muzzle flash of your rifle lighting up a German face, there and gone. The weight of a body hitting you, grappling, knife coming out, the wet sound it makes going in. You make it back. All 5 of you. The Germans are shouting, firing blindly into the darkness. You're already gone. Back in your basement, Dmitri is grinning. "Nice night for a walk," he says. You're shaking, hands trembling, adrenaline crash, but you're alive, still alive. The Volga is still behind you. The Germans are still in front of you. And tomorrow you'll do it all again, because this is Stalingrad, and Stalingrad doesn't fall. September turns into a meat grinder. That's what the guys are calling it, the meat grinder. You go in one end as a person, come out the other end as hamburger, if you come out at all. Your building, the one you've been holding for 3 days now, has changed hands twice. You lost it yesterday morning, got it back last night, left 8 German bodies in the stairwell. They're still there. Nobody's got time to move them. The smell is getting bad. Actually, the whole city smells bad now. Smoke and death and sewage. The water system's destroyed. Pipes burst everywhere. People are drinking from puddles, from the river, from anywhere. Boiling it if they're lucky. Just drinking it if they're not. You've got dysentery. Half your unit has dysentery. The other half has typhus. Or both. Dmitri's got both. He's still making jokes, though they're getting darker. "Hey, Alexei. You know what's great about dysentery in Stalingrad?" "What?" "At least you're losing weight. Very slimming. The ladies love it." There are no ladies. The civilians who couldn't evacuate are hiding in basements. You see them sometimes when you're moving through the sewers. Families huddled in the dark, kids with huge eyes staring at you like you're a ghost. Maybe you are. The Germans reach the Volga on the northern end of the city, cut right through to the river. Your unit, the 62nd Army, is now completely separated from the 64th Army to the south. You're on your own. Well, not completely on your own. Supplies still come across the Volga. Barges. At night. Running. Dark. Praying the Germans don't spot them. Sometimes they make it. Sometimes you hear the explosions in the dark and know they didn't. The rations are getting smaller. Used to get bread every day. Now it's every other day. Then every 3 days. Yesterday you got a fist-sized chunk of black bread that was more sawdust than wheat. You ate it anyway. Chewed it slow, made it last. Your stomach hurts all the time now. Empty, cramping. Your body's eating itself. You can feel it. Your ribs are showing through your tunic. Everyone's ribs are showing, but you're still alive. The Germans are pushing hard for the factories. The tractor factory is the big one. Huge, sprawling, still producing somehow. You've seen workers in there, building tanks while artillery shells explode outside. Wild, the finished tanks just drive straight out into combat. No paint, no testing. Fresh off the line and into the fight. Some of them don't last an hour, but some of them do. And that's what matters. September 27th. That's when things get interesting. There's this apartment building near the center of the city, 4 stories, overlooks a big square. Your lieutenant, Petrov, is obsessed with it. Whoever holds that building controls the square, he says. Whoever controls the square controls the supply routes. Makes sense. Tactical sense, anyway. Problem is, the Germans currently hold it. Petrov gets ordered to take it back. He picks 30 men. You're one of them. Of course you are. You've survived this long, so obviously you're qualified for suicide missions. You attack at dawn. It goes badly. The Germans are dug in. Machine guns in every window. You don't even make it across the square. Bodies dropping left and right. Someone screaming. You're crawling through rubble. Bullets snapping overhead. Then you're hit. Not shot. Not yet. But something explodes near you, and the blast picks you up and throws you. You land hard, can't breathe. Your ears are ringing so loud you can't hear anything else. You look around, count the survivors. 4 out of 30. Dmitri's one of them. So is Petrov. So is a guy named Yakov you don't know that well. And you. 4 men. Well, Dmitri says, spitting blood. This is going great. But Petrov sees something you don't. A gap. A way in. The building's basement has a collapsed wall. You can get in from the side, come up through the floor. So you do. It's insane. Completely insane. 4 men attacking a building held by maybe 50 Germans. But it works. You come up through the basement like rats. Catch them by surprise. Grenades first, then rifles. The Germans panic, fall back to the upper floors. You hold the ground floor. Just hold it. That's all. Just don't die. Petrov gets on the radio, calls for reinforcements. We've taken the building, he says, which is optimistic. You've taken the ground floor. The Germans still own the rest of it, but reinforcements come. 20 more men, rifles, machine guns, anti-tank rifles. Some engineer brings mines and barbed wire. A woman shows up with medical supplies. Civilian just walks across the square under German fire like she's going to the market. Her name is Nina. She's a nurse. She sets up in the basement, starts patching up the wounded. You've got a gash on your arm you didn't even notice. She bandages it. You're lucky, she says. You almost laugh. Over the next week, you turn the building into a fortress. Wire everywhere. Mines in the approaches. Machine guns covering every window. You dig a trench connecting to the next building over so you can resupply without going outside. The Germans attack constantly. Multiple times a day. Infantry first, testing your defences. Then tanks. You've got anti-tank rifles on the roof. Guy up there named Pavlov, sergeant. He's got this system worked out. Lets the tanks get close, then shoots down at them. Hits the thin armour on top. They can't elevate their guns high enough to shoot back. Brilliant. You lose count of how many tanks burn in that square. The Germans bring up artillery, shell the building for hours. The walls crack but don't fall. Reinforced concrete. Stalin's 5-year plan strikes again. Between bombardments, you sleep on the floor, on insulation, on anything. The civilians are still in the basement. 10 of them. Families who couldn't evacuate. They just sit there, silent, while the world explodes above them. There's a girl, maybe 7 years old. She doesn't talk, just stares. You don't blame her. Food is a problem. You're getting supplies across the trench from the other building, but it's not much. Bread rations get cut again. Now you're getting maybe 100 grams a day, about 3 slices. That's it. That's all you eat. You start eating things you shouldn't. Grass, tree bark. A cat shows up one day. Nobody talks about what happened to the cat. Your body is shutting down. You can feel it. No energy. Can barely lift your rifle. Your hands shake all the time, but you hold. The building gets a name. Pavlov's house, they're calling it, after the sergeant. He's technically not even in command anymore. Lieutenant Afanasyev showed up a few days ago, took over, but everyone still calls it Pavlov's house. You hold it for days, weeks. The Germans throw everything at you. Nothing works. General Chuikov, the guy commanding the 62nd Army, he's got this saying, we're hugging them so tight they can't breathe. That's the whole strategy. Get so close the Germans can't use their artillery, can't use their planes, have to fight you hand to hand. It's working. Kind of. You're also dying. Slowly. But it's working. October comes in cold. Frost at night now. You can see your breath in the morning. The Germans are still in summer uniforms. You can hear them at night, coughing, stamping their feet, trying to stay warm. You've got a padded jacket. Feels like luxury. Dmitri got frostbite on his toes last week, but he's fine. Well, not fine, but alive. The factories are hell. The tractor factory falls, then Red October. The Germans take them floor by floor, workshop by workshop. You hear the stories from guys who fought there, rooms changing hands 5-6 times a day, fighting with knives and entrenching tools when the ammo runs out. One guy tells you about the grain elevator. 50 Soviet soldiers held a grain elevator for 4 days against hundreds of Germans. 4 days. The building got hit with artillery, caught fire, filled with smoke. The defenders just kept firing from the burning wreckage. When the Germans finally took it, they found 40 dead Soviets. The other 10 had fought to the last bullet, then died fighting hand to hand. Wild. You hear stories like that and think maybe you're not doing so bad. You're still alive, still holding your building. The Germans control most of the city now, maybe 90%. You're squeezed against the Volga, holding a strip of land maybe a few hundred meters deep. That's it. That's all that's left. Behind you is the river. In front of you is the entire German 6th Army, and you're holding. The square in front of Pavlov's house is a graveyard, bodies everywhere, German bodies mostly. They attack in waves, you cut them down. Sometimes you have to go out at night and push the bodies aside. They're blocking your line of sight. You don't think about it, can't think about it. They're just obstacles now, objects to be moved. You're not a person anymore, not really. You're a thing that shoots Germans. That's all. That's the whole job. Dmitri stops making jokes. That's when you know it's bad. When Dmitri goes quiet, you know you're in trouble. He's sitting in the basement one night, just staring at the wall. You sit next to him. You okay? You ask. Define okay? He says. You don't have an answer. Nina the nurse is still here, still patching people up. She's running out of supplies, out of bandages, medicine, everything. She's tearing up clothes to make dressings, using vodka to clean wounds. People are dying from infections. Small wounds that should heal just fester and kill. There's nothing she can do. You see her crying once, just once. Then she wipes her face and gets back to work. The civilians in the basement are quiet. They don't complain, don't ask for anything. Just huddle together and wait for it to be over. The 7-year-old girl, the one who doesn't talk, she draws sometimes, with charcoal on the walls, pictures of houses, trees, a sun. Things that don't exist anymore. You watch her draw and try to remember what normal life was like. Can't quite manage it. This is normal now. Rubble and gunfire and hunger. This is just life. The Germans try a new tactic. Flamethrowers. They bring up flamethrower teams. Try to burn you out. You can see them coming across the square. These guys in bulky gear carrying tanks on their backs. Everyone aims for the tanks. The first one explodes before he's halfway across. The fireball is incredible. Takes out 3 other guys. The rest retreat. They try again the next day. Same result. After that, they go back to regular attacks. You've been in Pavlov's house for 3 weeks now. Feels like 3 years. Time doesn't work right anymore. Days blur together. You sleep when you can. Eat when there's food. Fight when the Germans attack. That's it. That's the whole routine. Your rifle is basically part of your body now. You sleep with it. Clean it obsessively. It's the only thing between you and death. Well, that and luck. Mostly luck. A shell hits the building. 3rd floor. You hear it coming, that whistling sound, then the impact. The whole structure shakes. Dust and debris rain down. You run up to check the damage. The 3rd floor is gone. Just gone. A gaping hole where a room used to be. You can see straight through to the outside. 3 men were up there. You find 2 of them, bodies broken, buried in rubble. The 3rd one is sitting against a wall covered in dust. I'm okay, he says. I'm fine. He's not fine. His leg is bent the wrong way, bones sticking through. Nina comes up, takes one look, shakes her head. You're not fine, she says. I'm fine, he insists. He's dead by morning. Shock, probably. Or blood loss. Hard to say. You bury him in the basement with the others. The basement is filling up with bodies. Your guys, civilians, even a couple Germans who died during the initial assault. You try not to think about it. Outside, the temperature keeps dropping. The rubble is covered in frost every morning. The Volga is starting to freeze at the edges. Soon, it'll be solid ice. That's bad for you. When the river freezes, supplies stop. No more barges. You'll be completely cut off. But it's also bad for the Germans. Winter is coming. For real this time. And they're not ready. You can see it, hear it. They're suffering, freezing at night, getting sick. Their equipment is breaking down in the cold. Tanks won't start. Guns jam. Meanwhile, you've got winter gear, felt boots, thick gloves. You grew up with Russian winters. This is nothing. For the Germans, this is a nightmare. Good. You want them to suffer, want them to freeze, want them to understand what it feels like to be cold and hungry and scared. Want them to know what you felt every single day since August. Petrov calls a meeting. Everyone's still alive. Maybe 15 men left out of the original garrison. We're holding, he says. Command says relief is coming. Big offensive. They're going to surround the Germans, cut them off. Nobody believes him. You've heard this before. Relief is always coming. Victory is always just around the corner, but you keep holding anyway, because what else are you going to do? The Volga is right there, a few hundred meters away. You can see it from the roof, dark and cold and wide. On the other side is safety, supplies, reinforcements, might as well be on the moon. You're here, in Pavlov's house, in Stalingrad, and you're not leaving. Not until this is over. One way or another. November hits like a hammer. The cold, I mean. Real cold. The kind that bites through your jacket and settles in your bones. You're not in Pavlov's house anymore. Got pulled out 2 days ago. New orders. They're throwing everything at the factories now. The Barricadi factory. The ones the Germans don't fully control yet. You almost miss Pavlov's house. Almost. The factory district is different. Worse, somehow. At least in the apartment buildings you had rooms, walls. Here it's just open workshops the size of football fields, massive machinery everywhere, lathes and presses and assembly lines, all silent now, dead. The Germans are on the other side of the main workshop, maybe 100 meters away. You can hear them talking, laughing sometimes, coughing a lot. Your position is behind a row of overturned metal workbenches. Not much cover, but better than nothing. Dimitri's still with you. Still alive somehow. The frostbite on his toes got infected, but Nina treated it before you left. Cut off 2 of his toes with a kitchen knife. No anesthetic. He bit down on a leather belt and didn't scream. Much. "Hey, Alexei," he says now, his voice hoarse. "You know what I miss?" "What?" "Everything. Yeah, that tracks. The factory fighting is a special kind of hell. During the day, you can't move. The Germans have machine guns set up with overlapping fields of fire. Step into the wrong spot and you're shredded. So you wait. You wait and you freeze and you try not to think about food. The rations are a joke now. Yesterday you got 2 tablespoons of millet, boiled in dirty water. That was it. That was the whole day's food. Your body is cannibalizing itself. You can feel it. Your muscles are gone. Just skin and bones now. When you look at your arms, you see an old man's arms. You're 19. The hunger is constant. Not painful anymore. Just there. An emptiness that never goes away. You think about food all the time, dream about it, bread, potatoes, your mother's soup. You'd kill for an actual meal, probably have killed, lost count. The worst part is the cold combines with the hunger, burns through whatever energy you have. You're shivering all the time, can't stop, can't get warm. At night you huddle with the other guys, pressed together for warmth. Nobody cares anymore. Dignity died weeks ago. The rats don't care about dignity either. They're everywhere, fat ones, sleek and healthy while you're all starving. They eat the corpses, the ones you can't reach to bury. You can hear them at night, squeaking and fighting over the bodies. Some guys started eating the rats. You haven't, not yet, but you've thought about it. The lice are worse than the rats. Everyone has them. You can feel them crawling on your skin, in your hair, in your clothes, biting constantly. You try to pick them off, but there are always more, thousands of them. The itching drives you insane. Worse, they carry typhus. Half your unit has it. Fever, headaches, delirium. You watch guys just waste away, burning up from the inside. You might have it too, hard to tell. Everyone's sick with something. The factory workshop is freezing. No heat. The wind blows straight through the broken windows, across the concrete floor. At night, the temperature drops to -20, -30. Your water freezes. Your rifle freezes. You have to keep it inside your jacket to keep the mechanism from locking up. The Germans are freezing too. You can see them during the day when there's enough light. They look like corpses already, hollow-eyed, moving slow. They've started wearing dead Soviet soldiers' clothes. You see them in Russian jackets, Russian boots, scavenging like rats. Good. Let them freeze. The fighting is different here, not constant like before, just sudden bursts of violence. The Germans attack. You fight them off. They retreat. Everything goes quiet for hours. Then they attack again. It's like they're testing you, probing for weak spots. You're all weak spots now. One night, a German patrol tries to cross the workshop floor. 5 guys, moving carefully. You can see their breath in the moonlight coming through the broken roof. You wait until they're in the kill zone. Then everyone opens up at once. It's over in seconds. 5 bodies on the concrete. They don't even scream, just drop. You go back to waiting. That's what this is now. Waiting. Waiting to attack. Waiting to be attacked. Waiting to die. Waiting for something to change. A guy named Volkov cracks, just loses it, starts screaming, stands up and runs toward the German lines, firing his rifle wildly. They cut him down before he makes it 10 meters. Nobody talks about it. You understand though, you get it. Some days you want to do the same thing. Just stand up and end it. Quick and clean, but you don't. You keep your head down, keep breathing, keep existing, because maybe there's a tomorrow, maybe tomorrow is different, probably not, but maybe. The civilians are gone now, evacuated, killed, who knows? The only people left in Stalingrad are soldiers, Soviet soldiers and German soldiers. Everyone else is dead or across the Volga. The city is just 2 armies trying to kill each other in the ruins of what used to be a city. You try to remember what it looked like before. Trees, parks, people walking around doing normal things. Can't picture it. Feels like a dream. This is reality. Concrete and blood and smoke. The Germans bring up a flamethrower team again. They never learn. The guy gets maybe 20 meters before someone shoots the tank on his back. The explosion is beautiful, orange and red, lighting up the whole workshop for a second. Then it's dark again. Dmitri laughs. Actually laughs. First time in weeks. "Did you see that?" he says. "Did you see that?" "Yeah," you say. "Boom," he says. Just boom. He's lost it too. Maybe you all have. The days are getting shorter. Sun comes up late, goes down early. More darkness, more time for Soviet operations. You go on a raid, 10 men. Objective is simple. Cross the workshop, throw grenades into the German positions, get back. You make it across. The grenades go in. You hear screaming. Coming back, you step wrong. Your foot goes through a weak spot in the floor. You fall, catch yourself, but your boot comes off, stuck in the hole. You can't stop. Germans are shooting. You run in one boot and a sock. Make it back. Realize your foot is bleeding. Cut on something. Doesn't hurt yet. Petrov looks at your foot. That's going to get infected, he says. Probably, you say. Try not to die, he says. I'll try. Your foot does get infected. Swells up. Turns colours. Nina isn't here anymore. No medics. No medicine. Dmitri pours vodka on it. You nearly bite through your lip. Then he wraps it in a strip torn from a dead German's shirt. Good as new, he says. Your foot feels like it's on fire, but you can still walk. That's what matters. The fighting intensifies. The Germans are desperate now. They've been trying to take Stalingrad for months, thrown everything at you, lost thousands of men, and you're still here. They attack 3 times in one day. Infantry, then tanks, then infantry again. You beat them back every time. Barely. Your unit is down to 8 men. Started with 40. 8. You don't know their names anymore. Don't want to. They'll be dead soon anyway. Except Dmitri. Dimitri's immortal, apparently. The cold is unreal now. The kind of cold that kills. You've seen it. Guys fall asleep on watch, don't wake up, frozen solid by morning. You don't let yourself sleep. Not really. Just doze. Always aware. Always ready. The Germans are in the same boat. You can hear them at night, crying, praying. Some of them call for their mothers. You feel nothing. They're the enemy. They came here. They started this. Now they're paying for it. There's a rumour going around. Big offensive coming. Soviet counterattack. Going to surround the Germans, cut them off. You've heard this before. Don't believe it. But some guys do. You can see it in their eyes. Hope. Dangerous thing. Hope. Gets you killed. Better to expect nothing. Then you can't be disappointed. The Volga is freezing solid now. Ice forming at the edges. Soon the whole river will be frozen. That means no more supply barges. That means you're on your own. Command says they'll airdrop supplies once the ice is thick enough to land planes on. You'll believe it when you see it. Food is basically gone. You're eating whatever you can find. Scraps. Boot leather. One guy boiled his belt and ate it. You catch a rat. Actually catch one. It's harder than it looks. They're fast. You kill it, clean it, roast it over a small fire. It tastes like the best thing you've ever eaten. Dimitri watches you eat it. Save me a piece? He asks. You give him a leg. He chews it slowly, eyes closed. 5 stars, he says. Would recommend. You almost smile. The next day, the Germans launch their biggest attack yet. Tanks, artillery, air support, everything. The workshop lights up, shells exploding everywhere. The noise is incredible, constant. You can't hear yourself think. You just fire, reload, fire. Don't aim, don't think. Just shoot at anything that moves. A tank crashes through the far wall. Its gun swivels toward your position. You dive. The shell goes over your head, hits the wall behind you. The whole building shakes. You pop up. Fire at the tank. Useless. Rifle rounds bounce off armor. Someone else has an anti-tank rifle. They hit it. The tank stops. Smoke pours out. The crew bails out. You shoot them. All of them. The attack breaks. The Germans pull back. You're still alive. Still alive. You count your bullets. 12 left. That's it. Everyone's low on ammo. The supply situation is critical. If the Germans attack again tomorrow, you might not have enough bullets to stop them. But tomorrow doesn't come. Not the attack, anyway. The day comes. November 19th. Cold and clear. You can see your breath. You're on watch, staring across the workshop at the German positions. Then you hear it. Artillery. Lots of it. But not here. Somewhere else. North of the city. The sound goes on for hours. Continuous. Thousands of guns firing. The Germans in the factory hear it too. You can see them looking around, nervous. Something's happening. You don't know what. Not yet. But something big. The artillery stops on the 3rd day. That's when you know something happened. The Germans across the workshop are acting weird, bunched together, talking in urgent whispers, officers running around. You can't hear what they're saying, but you can see the fear. Petrov gets called to headquarters, comes back an hour later. His face is different, not quite a smile, but close. Listen up, he says. Operation Uranus started 3 days ago. We hit them from the north and south. Massive offensive. Soviet forces broke through the Romanian lines. So, someone asks, so we've cut them off. The entire German 6th Army, surrounded. They're trapped in Stalingrad. Nobody says anything for a minute. Then Dmitri starts laughing. Actually laughing. Not his usual dark chuckle. Real laughter. We trapped them, he says. We trapped them. That's what I said, Petrov replies. You try to process this. For months, you've been the ones trapped, squeezed against the Volga, backs to the river, nowhere to go. Now the Germans are trapped, all of them, 300,000 men, sitting in a pocket around Stalingrad, surrounded by Soviet forces. How long before we get relieved, you ask? Petrov shrugs. Command says hold the line, keep pressure on them, don't let them break out. So nothing changes, really. You're still here, still fighting, still freezing and starving, but now the Germans are too, and that makes all the difference. Over the next few days, you watch the Germans change. The attacks stop, completely stop. They're not trying to take the factory anymore. They're just defending their positions. You can hear them arguing, shouting at each other. Something's broken over there. Their supply situation must be bad, really bad, because they're surrounded now. No supply lines, no reinforcements, just whatever they have with them. You almost feel bad for them. Almost. The German officers try to keep order. You can see them. Straight backs, loud voices. But the soldiers aren't listening anymore. They're hollow-eyed, starving. Like you, except you've been starving for months. You know how to function on nothing. How to keep moving when your body wants to quit. The Germans are just learning. One night you hear shooting from the German lines, not at you, at themselves. Someone executed, probably tried to desert. Good luck with that. Desert to where? You're surrounded. We're all surrounded. This whole city is a prison now. December comes. The cold gets worse. You didn't think it could get worse. You were wrong. -40, that's what someone says. -40 degrees. Your spit freezes before it hits the ground. Your breath comes out in clouds that freeze on your face. The Germans are dying from the cold now. You can see bodies in their trenches, frozen solid. They're not even burying them. No energy, no tools, just leaving them there. Your unit isn't much better. You're down to 5 men now. You, Dmitri, Petrov, and 2 others whose names you finally learned, Ivan and Boris, because it looks like they might actually survive. Maybe you all will. The Germans try to break out on December 12th. Not from your sector, somewhere south. You hear about it later. Some general named Manstein tried to punch through. Got close, real close, maybe 30 kilometers from the pocket. Then the Soviets stopped him. The Germans in Stalingrad waited for rescue, stayed in their positions, followed orders, and Manstein couldn't reach them, so they're still trapped. You start hearing planes at night, German planes, transport planes flying over the city, dropping supplies. The Germans cheer when they hear them. You can hear it across the workshop, actual cheering. But the drops are a mess. Half the supplies land outside the pocket. The Soviets get them. The other half lands in the wrong spot. All gets destroyed, and it's not enough. Not nearly enough. They'd need 500 tons a day to keep that army fed. They're getting maybe 100 on a good day. Do the math. The Germans are starving faster than you are now. Their rations get cut, then cut again. You know, because prisoners tell you. Yeah, some are surrendering now, not many, just the smart ones. They talk about eating horses, all the horses, down to the last one. Now they're eating the leather, the saddles, the harnesses. Sound familiar? You've been there, done that, got the scars. But you had months to adapt, to learn how to survive on nothing. They've got weeks. The German soldiers across the workshop look like skeletons now. You can see their bones through their stolen Soviet uniforms, see their skulls under their skin. They look like you. Christmas comes. The Germans have this tradition. Christmas Eve is a big deal for them. Sacred. You can hear them singing, actually singing. Christmas carols in German, voices drifting across the frozen workshop. Silent night, holy night. It's eerie, beautiful and terrible at the same time. Dmitri listens. His face is strange. My grandmother was German, he says. She used to sing that. You didn't know that. You don't say anything. Just listen to the singing. When it stops, the silence is worse. On Christmas Day, 1,300 Germans freeze to death. Just freeze in their positions at their posts, too weak to move, too cold to survive. The temperature hits -45. You make it through the night by huddling with the others, 5 bodies pressed together under every blanket and coat you have, breathing on each other, sharing warmth. It's the only way. In the morning you check on the others. Everyone's alive. Barely. Ivan lost 3 toes to frostbite. Boris can't feel his fingers, but they're breathing. That's a win. The Germans try offering supplies to any Soviet soldiers who'll defect. Bread, meat, warm clothes. Nobody takes it. Where would you go? Into the pocket? Into the trap? You'd rather starve out here with a chance than starve in there with none. The new year comes. 1943. You made it. You're still alive to see another year. Crazy. Petrov breaks out some saved vodka. Just a capful each. But it burns, going down. Warms you from the inside. To survival, he says. To survival, you all echo. The Germans don't celebrate. They're too busy dying. The Luftwaffe planes stop coming as often. The weather's too bad. The Soviets are shooting them down. The airlift is failing. You can see it in the Germans' faces, the hope draining away, being replaced by something else. Resignation. They know they're dead, just don't know when. January brings the final push. Soviet forces launch a new offensive, not trying to break in, trying to crush the pocket, squeeze it until it pops. The artillery is constant now, days and nights of shelling. The pocket is shrinking, Germans getting pushed into smaller and smaller areas. Your factory changes hands one more time. The Germans lose their last positions. Just give them up. Retreat. You walk through their old trenches. It's a cemetery, bodies frozen in place, some sitting up, some lying down, some in positions that don't make sense until you realise they died mid-motion and just froze that way. You find their ration depot. Empty cans, a few frozen potatoes, some mouldy bread. This is what they were living on. No wonder they're dead. You find a diary on one body. German officer. You can't read German, but Petrov can a little. He flips through it, reads some entries out loud. December 15th. Rations cut again. Men are eating the horses. December 24th. Christmas Eve. Many men weeping. No food for 3 days. January 3rd. Cannot feel my feet. My command has lost half its strength to cold and starvation. January 10th. We are abandoned. That's the last entry. You look at the frozen body, wonder who he was, if he had a family, if they know he's dead yet. Then you stop wondering. He's the enemy. He came here to kill you. He lost. The end. The Germans in the pocket split in two, north and south. Can't even communicate with each other anymore. Just two separate groups of dying men. The Soviets offer surrender terms. Good ones. Medical care, food, repatriation after the war. The German commander, some guy named Paulus, asks Hitler for permission to surrender. Hitler says no, fight to the last man, last bullet, for the glory of the Reich. So they keep fighting, keep dying for nothing. You almost respect them for it, almost, following orders even when the orders are insane, even when their leaders abandoned them. Then you remember all the Soviet soldiers who died following insane orders. Remember Order 227, not one step back. Yeah, orders are orders. Doesn't matter which side you're on. Another German patrol tries to surrender. 5 guys, hands up, white flag. You let them come across. Disarm them. Give them to the rear echelon. They can barely walk, literally skeleton thin, eyes sunken in their skulls, frostbitten, covered in lice. One of them cries when you give him bread, just sobs, stuffs it in his mouth with shaking hands. Danke, he keeps saying. Danke, danke. You don't know what it means, but you can guess. They get led away toward the prison camps. Think they'll make it? Dmitri asks. Maybe, you say. Better chance than staying. The German positions across the workshop are empty now, just abandoned. You can walk right through them. It's over. The factory is yours. The city is yours. Well, what's left of it? Stalingrad is a corpse, a frozen, broken corpse of a city. Nothing standing higher than 2 stories. Everything burned or shattered or both. 500,000 people lived here once. Maybe 10,000 are left. The rest are dead or gone. You climb to what used to be the roof of the factory. Look out over the city. The Volga is solid ice, white and endless. Behind you, to the west, you can see smoke. The German pocket burning, collapsing. They're finished. You can feel it. This is the end, but you're still here, still breathing, still alive, against all odds, against everything. You survived Stalingrad, not all of it, not yet. There's still fighting, still Germans holding out, but you can see the finish line now, and for the first time in months you let yourself feel something other than fear. Hope, dangerous, stupid, probably going to get you killed, but there it is anyway. Hope. January 26th, the last German airfield falls. You watch it happen. The airfield at Gumrak. Germans retreating from it in a mob. Not even an organised retreat. Just running. That's it for them. No more supply flights. No more evacuating the wounded. Whatever they have left is all they'll ever have. And they don't have much. The pocket is tiny now, maybe 15 kilometers across. 300,000 men packed into a space the size of a small town, most of them already dead or dying. You can smell it from here. Death, decay, even in the freezing cold. Your unit gets rotated to the rear for the first time in months. Actual rest, hot food, a chance to wash. You almost forgot what hot water feels like. There's a field kitchen set up in what used to be a school basement. They've got soup. Actual soup with chunks of meat in it. Potato, cabbage. You eat until you're sick, then you eat more. Dmitri sits next to you, both of you just shoveling food into your mouths. Not talking, not thinking, just eating. This is the best day of my life, he says, mouth full. Yeah, you agree. A medic checks you over, looks at your infected foot, your frostbite, your ribs showing through your skin. You need a hospital, she says. No, you say. I'm fine. You're not fine. I'm alive. That's fine enough. She gives you some ointment for your foot, some pills for the infection, fresh socks, clean underwear. It's like Christmas. You sleep in an actual bed that night. Well, a cot, but it's off the ground, has a blanket. You sink into it and pass out for 14 hours straight. No dreams, no nightmares, just nothing. Blessed nothing. When you wake up, Petrov tells you Paulus got promoted. Field Marshal. First one Hitler ever made on a battlefield. Why, you ask? Because no German field marshal has ever surrendered, Petrov says. Hitler's telling him to die. You think about that. Hitler, safe in Berlin, ordering a man to kill himself rather than admit defeat. Ordering 300,000 men to die for pride. Sounds about right. January 31st, word comes down. Paulus surrendered. The southern pocket collapsed. 90,000 Germans laying down their weapons. 90,000? You try to imagine that many people can't quite picture it. It's over? Dmitri asks. Not yet, Petrov says. Northern pocket is still holding. Of course they are. 2 days later, February 2nd, the northern pocket surrenders too. Last of them, the holdouts, the true believers. They march out of their positions with their hands up. Thousands of them. Walking skeletons in tattered uniforms. You watch them shuffle past. These are the guys who were trying to kill you yesterday. Today, they're just ghosts. Their faces are blank, empty, like their souls already left and their bodies just haven't figured it out yet. An officer walks by, still trying to look dignified, straight back, clean-shaven somehow, but his eyes are dead. He sees you watching, looks right at you. You hold his gaze. He looks away first. Yeah, you won. The prisoners keep coming for hours, a river of defeated men, some crying, some silent, some laughing like maniacs. The cold got to them, the hunger, the fear, broke them completely. You understand, you were almost there yourself, almost, but you had the Volga at your back, home behind you, something to fight for. They had Berlin 1,000 miles away and orders from a madman. Not the same thing. The city starts to come alive again. Slowly, civilians emerge from basements, from bunkers, from hiding places you didn't know existed. They look worse than the soldiers, starving, frozen, shell-shocked, but alive. Kids with huge eyes stare at you. You try to smile, can't quite manage it. Your face doesn't remember how. A woman approaches you, old, maybe 50, hard to tell. She could be 30 and just aged by the war. Is it over? She asks. Yes, you say. She starts crying, just collapses in the street and sobs. You don't know what to do, just stand there, awkward. Dmitri helps her up, walks her to a relief station. You explore the ruins, the factory district, the apartment blocks, the Volga embankment. It's all destroyed, everything, not a single building intact, just shells, skeletons of what used to be. You find Pavlov's house, still standing somehow. The walls are pockmarked with bullet holes, artillery scars, but it's there. The memorial inscription is already being carved, someone painted on the wall. In this building, heroic feats of warfare and labour fused together. Dramatic, but fair. You go inside, down to the basement where the civilians hid, where Nina set up her aid station. It's empty now, just bloodstains on the floor, bandages, shell casings. The girl's drawings are still on the wall, the house, the tree, the sun, things that don't exist anymore. You trace your finger over the charcoal lines, wonder if she made it, if she's one of the civilians you saw today. Probably not. The odds weren't good, but maybe. Outside, soldiers are collecting bodies, Germans mostly, frozen in piles, in trenches, in the streets, thousands of them, tens of thousands. They load them onto trucks, take them to mass graves outside the city. No ceremony, no prayers, just bodies in holes. The Soviet dead get buried separately, with a little more care. Not much, but some. You help carry a few, it's the least you can do. One guy still has his identification tag, his name, where he's from, some village you never heard of. He was 19, same as you. You put him in the ground gently, cover him with frozen earth. Someone should know, someone should care. You walk through the German positions, the trenches they dug, the bunkers they built. You find letters, hundreds of them. Never mailed, never sent, just sitting there. You pick one up, can't read German, but you can see the photos tucked inside. Wife, kids, a dog. He's not getting home to them. You leave the letters there, not your story to read. The lice are still a problem. Everyone's still covered in them. The delousing stations are overwhelmed. Lines of soldiers waiting to get cleaned. You wait your turn, stripped down in a room that's barely warmer than outside. They spray you with chemicals that burn. Shave your head. Give you clean clothes. You look in a mirror for the first time in months. Don't recognize yourself. The person staring back is a stranger. Hollow cheeks, sunken eyes, scars everywhere. You're 19 years old and you look 50. War does that. Food starts arriving, real supplies, convoys across the frozen Volga, then trucks when the ice starts to melt, bread, meat, vegetables, things you forgot existed. Your stomach can't handle it at first. You eat too much, get sick, throw up, have to relearn how to eat. Takes days before you can keep food down properly. The weight comes back slowly. A kilo here, a kilo there. You're still skeletal, but less so. Dmitri fills out faster, always was bigger than you. Look at us, he says one day, fat and happy. You're neither. But compared to December, it's true. The casualty numbers start coming in. Rough estimates. They'll be counting bodies for months. Soviet losses, over 1 million. Dead, wounded, missing, gone. German losses, the entire 6th Army, 300,000 men, 91,000 surrendered, the rest dead. Axis allies, Romanians, Italians, Hungarians, hundreds of thousands more. Civilian casualties, at least 40,000 in the initial bombing, another 130,000 during the battle and after. Numbers so big they stop meaning anything. You knew 50 guys in your original unit, started with 50, ended with 5. That math you understand. The prisoners are marched to camps in Siberia. You watch them go. Columns of broken men shuffling through the snow. Most won't make it. Starvation, disease, the cold, the camps. Only about 6,000 will ever see Germany again, out of 90,000. Do that math too. You feel something like pity. Then remember the Soviet prisoners the Germans took, the ones who got starved deliberately, worked to death, shot. 3 million Soviet POWs died in German camps. 3 million. Your pity evaporates. They made their choices, followed their leader into Russia, into Stalingrad. Now they pay. The medals start getting handed out. Hero of the Soviet Union, Orders of the Red Banner, commendations. Your whole unit gets medals. You get the Order of the Red Star for holding Pavlov's house, for surviving the factories. You pin it to your uniform. It's just metal. Doesn't mean anything. Except it does. It means you were here. You fought. You survived. That counts for something. Petrov gets promoted, lieutenant to captain. He deserves it. Kept you alive when smarter men would have gotten you killed. Dmitri jokes about it. Captain Petrov sounds fancy. Still the same guy, Petrov says. Yeah, but now you outrank us. Always did. Orders come through. Your unit is being reformed. Fresh recruits, new equipment, training for the next push west toward Germany. The war isn't over, not even close, but Stalingrad is, and you survived it. You, Dmitri, Petrov, Ivan, Boris, 5 out of 50. Those are your brothers now, the ones who made it through hell with you, the ones who understand what it was like. Nobody else will, nobody else can. You'll try to tell the story someday, try to explain what Stalingrad was. But words won't work, can't work. Some things you have to live through to understand, and you lived through it. Still don't know how. Luck, maybe. Stubbornness. The grace of something you don't believe in. Doesn't matter. You're here, you're alive, and that's enough. Your name isn't Alexei anymore. Your name is Hans. You're 22 years old, from a small town outside Munich. You joined the Wehrmacht in 1940 because everyone was joining, because it seemed like the war would be over in a year, because Germany was winning. That was a long time ago. Now it's November 23rd, 1942, and you're about to realize you've been trapped. The morning starts normal, cold, miserable, but normal. Your unit is dug in west of Stalingrad, guarding the supply lines, easy duty compared to the guys fighting in the city. Then the artillery starts, not from the city, from behind you, north and south, massive bridges. You can feel the ground shaking. What's happening? Your friend Carl asks. You don't know. The officers don't know either. They're running around with radios, shouting, getting contradictory orders. By noon, the rumours start. Soviet breakthrough, massive offensive, Romanians collapsing. By evening, you know the truth. You're surrounded. The entire 6th Army, 300,000 men, cut off, trapped in a pocket around Stalingrad. They'll break through, your sergeant says. Relief is coming. Hold your positions. You hold your positions. The relief doesn't come. Days pass, then a week. The pocket shrinks, Soviet forces pressing in from all sides. Your supplies are running low, the depots are outside the pocket, captured. Everything you need is on the wrong side of the Soviet lines. The airdrops start, transport planes flying overhead at night, dropping crates with parachutes. Most miss, land in Soviet territory. The rest land scattered across the pocket. You spend hours searching the snow for supply canisters. Sometimes you find them, sometimes the Soviets find them first. The food rations get cut. Full rations to 3/4 rations, then half, then a third. Your stomach is always empty now, always growling. You think about food constantly. Schnitzel, bread, your mother's stew, things that don't exist anymore. December comes. The cold is worse than anything you experienced in France or Poland. This is Russian cold, Siberian cold, the kind that kills. Your uniform isn't made for this. You've got a greatcoat, regular boots, a helmet that conducts cold straight to your skull. You watch guys lose fingers to frostbite, toes, noses, turn black and fall off. Carl gets frostbite on his feet, both feet. The medic looks at them and shakes his head. Keep them warm, he says. That's all I can do. Carl can barely walk after that, but he stays at his position because where else would he go? The horses disappear first, all of them, slaughtered for meat. You eat horse for a week. It's tough and stringy, but it's food. When the horses are gone, you start eating the leather. Saddles, harnesses, belts. You boil them until they're soft enough to chew. Tastes like rubber, but your stomach doesn't care. The rations keep shrinking. In mid-December, you get 300 grams of bread per day. That's 3 thin slices. Then 200 grams. Then 100 grams of bread. That's it. That's all you eat in a day. You can feel yourself disappearing, your body consuming itself, muscles melting away, bones pushing through skin. Your mind gets foggy, hard to think, hard to focus. Everything takes twice as long. Carl stops talking, just sits in the trench, staring at nothing. "You okay?" you ask. He doesn't answer. Christmas Eve, someone finds vodka, actual vodka. You each get a capful. You drink it and cry. The next day, Carl dies. Just dies, in his sleep, didn't wake up. You check his pockets, find a photo, his wife and daughter, smiling. They don't know he's dead yet, won't know for months, maybe years. You take his rations for the day. He doesn't need them, you do. The wounded are piling up, guys with missing limbs, shrapnel wounds, frostbite so bad their feet are rotting. There's no medicine, no morphine, no bandages. The medics use strips of uniform to wrap wounds, use snow to clean them. Infections kill more than bullets now. A small cut turns septic. Fever, delirium, death. You've got a cut on your hand. Happened 3 days ago. It's red now, swollen, hot to the touch. You wash it with snow, pour vodka on it when you can find any. Pray it doesn't get worse. It gets worse. The airlift is failing. You can see it. Fewer planes each night. Smaller drops. The Luftwaffe can't keep up. Can't deliver enough. You need 500 tons of supplies a day. You're getting 100, maybe. Do that math. New Year's comes, 1943. You're still alive, barely. The skin on your face is cracked and bleeding from the cold. Your fingers won't bend properly. Your stomach has stopped growling. Just aches. A deep, constant ache. You weigh maybe 50 kilos now. Lost 30 kilos in 2 months. Your uniform hangs off you like a scarecrow's clothes. Then the miracle rations arrive. That's what the officers call them. Miracle rations, new supplies, high-calorie meat paste, designed specifically for extreme conditions. You get a can, open it. The paste inside is brown and thick, smells okay, you eat it. It's rich, really rich, fatty, like pure fat mixed with meat. Your stomach isn't ready, you throw up, try again, keep it down this time. Over the next few days, you eat the meat paste. Everyone does. Finally, some real calories, real energy. Then guys start dying. Not from wounds, not from cold, just dying on sentry duty, during roll call, mid-sentence, healthy guys, well, as healthy as anyone can be. 1 minute they're fine, next minute they're dead. Nobody understands it. The officers are panicking. Poisoning, sabotage, a doctor arrives, performs autopsies, takes samples, figures it out. The meat paste, it's the meat paste. Too much fat. Your body's adapted to starvation, started burning your own fat for energy, got really efficient at it. Then suddenly you're eating pure fat. Your body goes into overdrive, burns through your remaining fat reserves so fast you just die, starved to death by food. The irony would be funny if it weren't so horrific. The meat paste gets recalled, back to regular starvation. At least that kills you slowly. Your infection isn't getting better. Your hand is swollen twice its normal size. Red streaks running up your arm. Blood poisoning. Sepsis. You know what that means. The medic looks at it. I can amputate, he says. No tools, you say. I have a knife. You think about it. Losing your hand. Here. Now. In this frozen hell. Maybe tomorrow, you say. Tomorrow you can't find the medic. He died during the night. Froze to death in his sleep. Your hand gets worse. Fever sets in. Everything gets hazy. You're hot and cold at the same time. Shivering but sweating. Someone gives you water. You drink it. Can't remember who it was. The pocket keeps shrinking. Soviets pushing in from all sides. You retreat, then retreat again, giving up ground you fought for, ground guys died for. Doesn't matter now. Just stay alive. Just survive one more day. The airfield at Gumrak falls. That's the last one. No more flights, no more supplies, no more evacuating the wounded. You're sealed in, buried alive in the snow and ruins. General Paulus sends a message to Hitler, asks permission to surrender, to save the army, to save the men. Hitler says no, fight to the last bullet, for the fatherland. Easy for him to say. He's in Berlin, warm, fed, safe. You're here, freezing, starving, dying. January 26th, or maybe 27th. You've lost track. The days blend together. Someone says Paulus got promoted, field marshal. Hitler made him a field marshal. Why? Someone asks. Because no German field marshal has ever surrendered, another guy says. It's an order to die. Everyone goes quiet. You're being ordered to die. For what? For Hitler? For Germany? For a city 1,000 miles from home? You don't believe in it anymore. Can't remember if you ever did. January 31st. The rumours spread fast. Paulus surrendered. The southern pocket collapsed. Officers are destroying documents, burning papers, preparing for the end. Your sergeant gathers everyone, maybe 20 guys left out of a company that started with 150. We're surrendering tomorrow, he says. Orders from high command, lay down your weapons, march to Soviet positions, hands up. Nobody argues. You're too tired, too hungry, too dead already. That night you can't sleep. Tomorrow you'll be a prisoner, or dead, probably both. You think about home, your parents, your little sister. Wonder if you'll ever see them again. Probably not. February 2nd, dawn. Your sergeant has everyone line up. Destroy your weapons, he orders. Leave them here. We're walking out. You smash your rifle against a rock. Break it. Leave it in the snow. The walk to Soviet lines takes an hour. You move slowly, can barely walk, leaning on each other. Soviet soldiers wait at a checkpoint. Rifles ready. They look shocked when they see you. You must look like death, because you are. Walking death. They disarm you, search you, take your coat, your boots, everything. March, they order in broken German. You march west, away from Stalingrad, toward the prison camps. The column of prisoners stretches for miles, thousands of men, all walking corpses, all defeated. Guys collapse in the snow, can't get up. The guards sometimes shoot them, sometimes just leave them to freeze. You keep walking? One foot, then the other. Don't think. Just walk. You make it to the first camp. Bekatovka, a frozen field with barbed wire. No barracks, no shelter, just open ground. They leave you there, thousands of prisoners in the snow, no food, no water, no medical care. You sit down, can't stand anymore. The cold seeps through your thin clothes. This is it. This is where you die, not in battle, not fighting, just sitting in the snow in a prison camp. You think about your mother. Hope she never finds out how you died. Hope she thinks you went quickly, heroically. Not like this. The night comes. The temperature drops. Guys around you stop moving, stop breathing. You close your eyes, just for a minute, just to rest. Your body is so tired, so cold, so done. Sleep pulls at you, deep and warm and final. Unlike the warm bed you're in right now, the safe bed, the comfortable one, where you can rest without fear, without hunger, without cold. Hold on to that. Remember that. Some didn't make it to tomorrow, but you did. Your name is Katya. You're 7 years old. You live in a basement now. Used to live in an apartment, 4th floor, nice view of the Volga. You remember standing at the window watching the boats. That was before. Now there's no window, no apartment, just the basement. Your mother is with you. Papa isn't. He left in June, put on a uniform, said he'd be back soon. That was 4 months ago. The basement is crowded. 10 people, families who lived in the building, misses all over from the 2nd floor, the Petrov family, Mr. Sokolov, the old man who always smelled like tobacco. Everyone's here, hiding. The bombing started 3 days ago, or maybe 4. Hard to tell, time doesn't work right in the basement. You remember the sound, like thunder that never stops, the building shaking, dust falling from the ceiling, your mother pulling you close. "It's okay," she whispered. "We're safe down here." You didn't believe her, still don't, but you stopped crying. Crying doesn't help. The first time you went upstairs, you didn't recognize your apartment. The walls were gone, just gone. You could see the sky through holes in the ceiling. Your bed was buried under rubble, your toys, everything. Mama found your doll, Clara. She was dirty, but okay. You've kept her close ever since. The soldiers came on the 4th day, or maybe the 5th. Soviet soldiers. They looked tired, scared, young. One of them, a boy named Alexei, smiled at you. "Hey there, what's your name?" You didn't answer. Mama taught you not to talk to strangers. "It's okay," Mama said. "You can tell him." "Katya," you whispered. "Nice to meet you, Katya. We're going to defend this building, keep you safe." You wanted to believe him. The soldiers set up positions upstairs, machine guns in the windows, barbed wire outside. You could hear them working, shouting orders, dragging heavy things across the floor. Then the Germans came. You've never seen a German before. Mama always talked about them like monsters. But when you peek up the stairs during a quiet moment, you see they look like regular men, just in different uniforms. That's scarier somehow, that regular men can do this. The fighting starts and doesn't stop. Explosions, gunfire, screaming. The whole building shakes. You hide in the corner with Clara. Put your hands over your ears. Close your eyes. Doesn't help. The noise gets through anyway. A woman appears in the basement one day. A nurse, Nina. She's young, maybe 20. She sets up in the corner. Bandages, medicine bottles, a table made from boards. The wounded soldiers come down, bleeding, missing pieces, making sounds you've never heard people make. Nina works on them, quick and calm. She talks to them while she works, tells them they'll be okay. Some of them are okay, some aren't. The bodies get carried out at night. You try not to look, try not to count. Food becomes a problem. Mama had some bread stored, a few potatoes, some dried fish. That lasted 3 days. Then it was gone. The soldiers share their rations sometimes. A piece of bread, a handful of grain, not much. They don't have much. You get hungry, really hungry. Your stomach hurts all the time. Mama says you'll get used to it. You don't. You find a piece of charcoal one day, black and crumbly. You pick it up, look at the basement wall. Nobody's using that wall. You draw a house, like your old apartment, with windows and a door, flowers in front. Mama sees it, doesn't say anything, just watches. You draw a tree next to the house, then a sun, a bird, things you remember from before. The days blur together. Wake up, eat a tiny bit of food if there is any. Listen to the fighting, sleep when you can. The soldiers change, new ones come, old ones leave or die. Alexei is still here. You see him sometimes. He always asks how you're doing. Good, you lie. He knows you're lying, but he smiles anyway. October brings cold. You can feel it seeping through the walls. The basement was warm before. Underground stays warm, but not anymore. Mama wraps you in blankets, coats, everything she can find. You still shiver. The water runs out. The pipes broke weeks ago. Now you have to melt snow. When there's snow, when there isn't, you drink what the soldiers bring from the river. It tastes wrong, makes your stomach hurt, but you drink it anyway. Mrs. Orlova dies in November, just dies. Old age maybe, hunger, stress, hard to say. The soldiers help carry her out, bury her somewhere. Her spot in the basement stays empty. Nobody wants to sit there. You add to your drawings a dog, a cat, a wagon, things from before. Mr. Sokolov asks what you're drawing. Home, you say. He looks at it for a long time. That's nice, he says quietly. The fighting gets worse. The building shakes constantly. Bits of ceiling fall down. You move to a corner that seems more stable. Nina treats more soldiers, running out of supplies. She's using torn clothes as bandages now, vodka to clean wounds. You watch her work, quick hands, never hesitating. You want to be brave like her when you grow up. If you grow up, November becomes December. The cold is unbearable. You sleep pressed against Mama for warmth. Even Clara gets tucked inside your coat. Food is almost gone. You eat once a day now. Sometimes. A few spoonfuls of something, boiled grain, bread so hard you have to soak it in water. Your body is changing. You can feel your ribs, your arms are sticks. Mama looks sick, thin and pale, but she smiles at you. We're okay, she says. We're still here. The soldiers bring you things sometimes, a piece of chocolate. Someone found it in a German pack. You split it with Mama, make it last 3 days. Tiny bites, let it melt on your tongue. Best thing you ever tasted. You draw more. Cover the whole wall, houses and trees and people. A whole world on the basement wall. A better world. Alexei sees it one day. Stops. Stares. This is beautiful, Katya, he says. You shrug. It's just drawings. No, really. This is important. Don't stop. So you don't. Christmas comes. You didn't think about Christmas until someone mentions it. The Petrov family tries to celebrate. Mrs. Petrovna finds a candle, lights it. Everyone sits around it. Nobody has presents. Nobody has food for a feast. But you sit together in the candlelight and it feels like something. Mr. Petrov tells a story about Christmas when he was a boy. Snow and sledding and hot cocoa. You listen, picture it, add it to your wall later. A sled, snow, a steaming cup. New Year's arrives, 1943. You made it to another year. Mama hugs you. We're going to be okay, she says. This year will be better. You want to believe her. January brings noise from far away. Big booms. Not nearby, somewhere else. The soldiers get excited. Something about an offensive. An encirclement. You don't understand, but they're smiling. That's good. The fighting slows down, fewer attacks, quieter nights. You can hear yourself think. Then one day it stops, just stops. The silence is strange, unnatural. You've lived with noise for months. Now there's nothing. The soldiers go upstairs, come back down. It's over, Alexei says. The Germans surrendered. We won. Won? What did you win? Your apartment is destroyed. Your papa is gone. Half the people you knew are dead. But the fighting stopped. That counts for something. Evacuation comes in February. Soldiers help you upstairs, out of the basement, into daylight. You haven't seen the sun in months. It's bright, too bright. You cover your eyes. The city is gone. Just ruins, rubble, smoke, everything destroyed. You look for your apartment building, can't find it. Everything looks the same, broken. They take you across the Volga, on trucks. The ice is thick enough now. You ride in the back, pressed against Mama. Other civilians around you, all quiet, all staring. On the other side is a camp, tents, food stations, medical care. A woman gives you soup, real soup with vegetables. You eat it slowly, haven't had real food in months. It makes you sick. You throw up. Try again. Keep it down the second time. Mama cries when they give her bread. Just sobs. The woman at the station hugs her. It's okay, the woman says. You're safe now. A doctor checks you, shakes his head. Malnutrition, dehydration, likely hypothermia damage, but she's alive. Will she be okay? Mama asks. In time, he says. With food and rest, yes, she'll be okay. You stay in the camp for a week, slowly eating more, slowly getting stronger. Your body doesn't know how to be warm, how to be full, has to remember. Other children are there, survivors. You try to play with them, can't quite remember how. It's been so long, you draw instead. Find some paper, a pencil, draw your basement, the soldiers, Nina, the wall with all your pictures. Someone says you're going to Siberia. To live with relatives. Somewhere safe, somewhere away from the war. You don't want to go, but you don't want to stay either. Stalingrad isn't home anymore. Home doesn't exist. Before you leave, you ask about Alexei, the soldier who was kind to you. He's alive, someone says, transferred to another unit, heading west. Good, he deserves to live. On the last day, you go back to see the basement. They let you, with supervision. Your drawings are still there. On the wall, the house, the tree, the sun, all of it. You touch them. Remember drawing each one. Remember why. Can I take them? You ask. They're on the wall, Mama says gently. I know. You take out your pencil, draw one more thing, right in the center, a girl holding a doll, smiling, you from before, when smiling was normal. Then you leave. The truck takes you away from Stalingrad, away from the ruins, away from the basement that kept you alive. You watch the city disappear behind you, smoke rising from the rubble, soldiers moving through the streets. You're 7 years old. You survived the deadliest battle in history. You'll carry it forever, in your memories, in your bones, in your dreams, but you survived, and right now, that's enough. Your name is Alexei again. It's May the 2nd, 1945. You're standing in Berlin, in the ruins of the Reichstag. The war is over. You made it. 3 years since Stalingrad. 3 years of fighting. Poland, Belarus, Germany, all the way here. Dimitri's still with you. Can't believe it. You both survived everything. Every battle, every winter, every impossible situation. Petrov's here too. Colonel now, got promoted twice more. Still the same guy who kept you alive in that apartment building. Even died in Warsaw. Boris made it to Berlin, but caught a shell 2 days before the surrender. Almost made it all the way. Almost. You think about Stalingrad a lot. More than you want to. The basement, the factory, the cold, the hunger. The girl who drew on the walls, Katya. You wonder if she made it. Hope she did. The German surrender happens in stages, different commanders, different sectors. You accept one yourself. Some colonel looks defeated, broken. You remember being that close to broken. Remember November, December, the edge of giving up. You didn't. He did. Different circumstances, different war. But still, the celebrations start. Soviet flags everywhere. Soldiers singing, drinking, dancing in the streets. You join in. Should be happy. You won. You survived. Made it all the way to Berlin. But you're tired, so tired. Not sleepy tired, soul tired, bone tired. The kind of tired that doesn't go away with sleep. You've seen too much, done too much, lost too much. Dmitri finds you sitting on some rubble, hands you a bottle of vodka. "We made it," he says. "Yeah. Stalingrad to Berlin. Hell of a trip." "Yeah." He sits next to you. Both of you quiet. The celebration happens around you, but you're not part of it. Not really. You're somewhere else, somewhere cold and burning, somewhere that doesn't exist anymore but never really left. "You think about them?" Dmitri asks. You know who he means, the ones who didn't make it, the 45 others from your original unit. Karl, Ivan, Boris, all of them. "Every day," you say. "Me too." You drink, pass the bottle back, watch the sun set over the ruins of Berlin. Looks like Stalingrad. Same rubble, same destruction, same smell of smoke and death. You did this, your army did this, destroyed a city just like the Germans destroyed yours. The symmetry is lost on you, you're too tired to care. Going home takes months, the war ends, but the army doesn't just let you go. Occupation duty, rebuilding, processing paperwork. Finally, in August, you get your discharge papers, permission to go home. Home, you haven't thought about home in years, blocked it out, couldn't think about it and do your job. Now you have to. Your village is still there, smaller, quieter. A lot of people didn't come back. Your mother cries when she sees you, just grabs you and sobs. Your father shakes your hand, grips it hard, doesn't say anything, doesn't have to. Your little sister is 10 now, was 5 when you left. Doesn't remember you very well. You don't remember yourself very well either. The village has a memorial, names carved in stone. People who died in the war, you read them, recognize most. Guys you grew up with, went to school with, they're on the stone. You're not. Luck. That's all it was. Luck and maybe stubbornness. Civilian life is strange, quiet, safe. Nobody shooting at you, nobody trying to kill you. You can walk down the street without checking for snipers. It feels wrong somehow. Too easy. Too safe. You can't sleep. Every night you lie there staring at the ceiling, your body exhausted but your mind racing. When you do sleep, the dreams come. The factory, the bombing, the faces of the dead, German and Soviet, all of them staring at you. You wake up sweating, heart pounding, reaching for a rifle that isn't there. Your mother makes your favorite foods, things you dreamed about in Stalingrad. Soup, fresh bread, meat. You can't taste it. It all tastes like nothing. But you eat it anyway, because she made it for you, because she's trying to help. Dmitri shows up one day, just appears at your door. He's visiting family nearby, thought he'd stop by, you sit together. Don't talk much, don't need to, he gets it. The only person who gets it. "Does it get better?" you ask. "Don't know yet," he says. "Ask me in 10 years. You try to work, help on the farm, fix things, build things, normal life. But your hands shake, your concentration wanders, you're there but not there. People thank you for your service, call you a hero. You don't feel like a hero. Heroes are the ones who died. You just got lucky. The nightmares continue, years later, decades later. They never fully go away, but they get quieter, less frequent, more manageable. You learn to live with them, learn to live period, find small joys, small victories, a good harvest, a sunny day, your sister's wedding. Life rebuilds itself, slowly, imperfectly, but it rebuilds. You never talk about Stalingrad, not really. People ask. You give them the simple version, the sanitized version. What actually happened stays locked inside. Too big, too heavy, too much. Dmitri visits sometimes. You sit together, sometimes talk, sometimes don't. Just exist in the same space. Two people who understand. Petrov writes letters, moved to Moscow, got married, has kids, living a full life. Good. Someone should. Years pass, the world moves on, the war becomes history, then memory, then stories people tell. You get old, watch your hair go grey, your body slow down. The young people look at you and see an old man. You look in the mirror and see that 19-year-old kid in Stalingrad. Scared, hungry, trying to survive. He's still in there, will always be in there. Your village builds a museum, small one. Local history. They ask if you'll donate something, your medals, your uniform. You give them a photo, you and Dmitri, taken in 1946, both of you young still, both of you trying to smile. Tell them, you say to the curator, tell them we were just trying to live, that's all, not trying to be heroes, just trying to survive. She promises she will. On quiet nights, you think about the others, the ones who didn't make it. Wonder what they'd be doing now, who they'd have become. Karl might have been a teacher. Ivan talked about opening a shop. Boris wanted to see the ocean. None of them got the chance. You got the chance. You're still here, still breathing, still watching sunsets and feeling rain and eating bread. Simple things, things you couldn't do in Stalingrad, things worth living for. You think about Katya sometimes, the girl with the drawings. Hope she grew up, got married, had kids, had a life. Hope her drawings decorated a real house eventually, with real windows and real flowers. Hope she made it. The statistics come out over the years. Official numbers, unofficial estimates, arguments about the true cost. 1 million Soviet casualties, military, civilian, dead, wounded, missing. Over 400,000 German casualties in the battle alone. 91,000 surrendered. Most never came home. Numbers so big they lose meaning. Can't picture 1 million people. Can't imagine that much death. You just picture the 50 guys in your unit, 45 dead, 5 alive. That math you understand. Multiply it by 20,000. That's Stalingrad. But the numbers aren't the whole story. Never are. The story is the cold, the hunger, the fear, the small moments of humanity in the middle of hell. The story is Nina working through the night to save men who die anyway. Dmitri making jokes when there was nothing to laugh about. Katya drawing houses on basement walls. The story is survival, stubborn, desperate, impossible survival. That's what matters. Not the grand strategy, not the turning point of the war, not the heroic narrative. Just people trying to live, trying to make it to tomorrow. And tomorrow after that, some did, some didn't. You did. And now, all these years later, you're grateful for the simple things, for warm beds and full stomachs and safety, for being able to close your eyes at night without wondering if you'll wake up. For the life you got to live after Stalingrad. It wasn't the life you planned, wasn't the life you wanted at 19, but it was a life, full and real and yours. That's enough, more than enough. You close your eyes now, in your warm bed, in your safe house, in a world that's not burning, and unlike those who didn't make it through that frozen